Let everyone get their wiggles and giggles out. Before we get started, shake it all out. We're ready to get started. Good morning. I think you all can do better than that. Good morning. There it is. Thank you for having us at Marston Middle. I know several of you came to Marston for this event, so welcome to Marston Middle School. My name is Janelle Dean. I'm the Community Engagement Manager at KPBS, and I get to oversee, with a wonderful team of folks, the One Book, One San Diego program. Who's familiar with One Book, One San Diego? All right, so some of you. I do want to say that you all here are at the event, and we also have a wonderful group online. We're live streaming the event today. So everyone give a big hello to everyone online joining us today. Nice. All right. We welcome you online and encourage you to please let us know what school you are joining in from, your grade, and drop your questions in the chat. So, One Book, One San Diego is a community read program here in town. It is a partnership between KPBS and the San Diego Public Library and the San Diego County Library and several other partners. And this is the 19th season of One Book, One San Diego. The community nominates books at the beginning of the year. This year in 2025, we received 660 nominations. We have advisory committees that read and review every nominated title, and then their job is very hard. They have to decide which books should be selected to share with the community to read and discuss and enjoy. And so this year, they read through all 660 books, and they selected some wonderful titles to share with the community. Always forget to advance my slides. Here they are. So for adults this year, the book that was selected was Deacon King Kong by James McBride. For kids, the book is The Interpreter by Olivia Abtahi and illustrated by Monica Arnaldo. And the book you all are here to celebrate, Family Style by Thien Pham. So not only do we distribute 9,000 copies of books across the community each year, but we also host each author here in San Diego to share with all of you so that you all can meet them and hear from them and ask them questions. So we really hope you enjoy the program today. I'd like to recognize some of our sponsors. One Book, One San Diego is made possible by the Lyndon Root Dickinson Foundation, as well as the Seth Sprague Educational and Charitable Foundation, the Payne Family Foundation, the Frida Berlinski Foundation, Kaiser Permanente, Lloyd Pest Control, the City of San Diego, and KPBS. Thank you so much to our sponsors. These are all of the partners that participate in One Book, One San Diego. So you may recognize some of these organizations and places across town that pick up books and share books with the community and really take part in the program each year. San Diego Unified School District, which is the district you all belong to, is a major partner, and we thank you all for participating, and we hope you enjoy the books, the authors, and all of the program in its entirety. Your fabulous superintendent shared some words to kick off the program today, so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Bagula.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Fabiola Bagula, your superintendent of San Diego Unified School District. It's great to see so many of you here for this year's One Book, One San Diego event. I want to thank our partners at KPBS, the San Diego Public Library, and the San Diego County Library for helping bring stories like this one to life for our students. Today, we're celebrating Family Style by Thien Pham. It's a powerful graphic memoir that tells Thien's story of coming to America as a refugee from Vietnam and discovering what it means to belong. At its heart, Family Style is about identity, family, and the memories that food carries with us. Each meal in the book represents a moment of connection. sometimes joyful, sometimes painful, but always meaningful. And I love the pictures that it has in here. One of the things that I know about food that inspire me is anytime I want to feel very closely to my grandmother, I make her recipes at home. I hope Family Style inspires you to think about your own family stories, the traditions, the foods, and the moments that shape who you are. Thank you for being part of this celebration of reading, of culture, and of human connection. Now please join me in welcoming the author of Family Style, Thien Pham.
Thank you to Dr. Bagula, and thank you to San Diego Unified School District. I have some extensive thank yous, but I'll save that till the end. At this time, I'd like to bring out Alonzo Nunez. Alonzo's our moderator for today, and he is one of our longest standing and most active community partners with One Book, One San Diego. Alonzo is the founder and executive director of Little Fish Comic Book Studios. Founded in 2012, Little Fish is an educational nonprofit dedicated to developing the skills and empowering the minds of students interested in the comic art form, especially through a wide range of classes and camps directed to all ages. Alonzo? And Alonzo's gonna, yes. Alonzo is going to introduce our guest of honor today, but before that, I want to encourage all of our attendees online to please drop in the chat your school name, grades, and questions. We want your questions. We're going to have a discussion for about 30 minutes and then 20 minutes of Q&A. And for all of you here in the audience, please raise your hand if you have a question. You'll get a note card. On the note card, please write your name, your grade, school, and question, and then raise your hand when you're finished with your question, and it will be picked up by Mick. Mick, raise your hand, or Alicia. Alicia, raise your hand. There she is, and then you'll get to ask your question after the discussion. So, Alonzo, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, great. Thank you, Janelle. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Okay. All right, so in brief, Thien Pham is a graphic novelist, a comic artist, and educator. He's based in Oakland, up in the Bay Area. His first two graphic novels are Sumo, which he wrote and drew himself, and Level Up, which was written by Jean Yang and drawn by Thien. But we are here to talk about his most recent graphic novel, Family Style, which won the Eisner Award, which is like the big San Diego Comic-Con award for Best Graphic Memoir last year in 2024. Everyone put your hands together for Thien Pham.
Thank you so much, you guys.
That was an amazing intro. That's so good. Well done, guys. Were you guys bribed by your teachers? No? Yes? A little bit? Thien, welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
So let's start off right. I assume everyone has read Family Style. It's a moving graphic memoir about your family's journey from Vietnam to America by way of Thailand. Where did the kind of origin story for this graphic novel come from? How did this story start for you?
Well, this whole story started almost I would say in 2007. You guys weren't even born in 2007, right? Right? Yeah. Oh. So before you guys out there were even born, I was talking to my friend Jean Yang. Jean Yang, I don't know if you guys have read his book. He wrote American Born Chinese and a couple of other amazing graphic novels. And I was talking to him about my family's journey to America. I was just telling him the story. And he says to me, he looks at me and he's like, dude, this is what Jean Yang sounds like, just in case you want to know. He goes, dude, you gotta tell that story. It's the only thing interesting about you. And I thought that was a little harsh, but it was true. It is the only thing interesting about me. So I was like, I gotta write this story. But I kept trying to do it. I I kept trying to write the story, and I just couldn't do it. I would like do like 20 pages, and then like I would just like, this is not good, and I would just put it away. And I kept trying to do it for years. Every year I would try to do it, and I just couldn't do it. It just didn't work. And then when the pandemic hit, do you guys remember? Were you guys born for that? The pandemic? Yeah. So in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I finally got a chance to spend a lot of time with my parents, which is not something I often do. But during the pandemic, I got to sit down with my parents and talk to them. And I don't know about you guys, but after a while, when I talk to my parents, I get like, ugh, I ran out of things to talk about. I'm like, I don't know what to talk to you about. I've already like helped you with your Wi-Fi. I don't know what else to talk to you about. So then one day I decided I was going to ask my mom. I said, Mom, tell me this story about how we came to America. Because I don't know about you guys, but my mom, my parents, they're Vietnamese immigrants, and they keep a lot of stuff away from me. They don't tell me a lot of things. And I think a lot of times parents don't tell kids things because they want to protect them. They don't want us to hear all the sad stuff, you know? So they don't like to tell us all the sad stuff. And a lot of ways, it's also to protect themselves because they don't want to relive the sad stuff. But on this day, my mom decided to tell me this story. And when she told me the story, as she's talking, it's like the first time in my life, I just felt so moved. Like, I just couldn't, as she's telling me the story, I just couldn't believe, like, the sacrifices that my parents went through and made just so that I can have a better life in America, you know? And, you know, sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I take my parents for granted. You know, I don't, you know, I was just, like, 30 minutes ago complaining about how I had to reset their Wi-Fi, and now they're telling me the story of everything they gave up and all the sacrifices they did just so I can come to America and have a better life. And I just felt so moved by that I came home that day and I was like, I have to write this story. And that I did. So as soon as I heard the story from my mom, I came home and I just wrote and just drew, and it just totally came out of me. And I realized that was the missing ingredient, right? Like, talking to my parents was the missing ingredient. That's why I couldn't finish that story all those years, and this is why I was able to do it this year. Yeah.
Do we have any aspiring artists out in the audience who likes to draw? So, right.
There's a lot.
I'd like to see that. So, Thien, can you tell them about how you first brought Family Style to the world? Because I think for aspiring artists, really even high schoolers and college level kids, it can feel like daunting. Like you have to have a book deal, or you have to have this contract in place before you start releasing your work. So how did you bring Family Style?
Well, you guys are very lucky in this day and age, but back when we started drawing comics back in like 2000s, we didn't really have a lot of things like Instagram or anything like that. So when I first started drawing comics, when I would draw a comic, I would take it to the copy store and I would make them copy it for me, and then I would staple them and try to sell it to people myself. But you guys are so lucky now with your art. You have this platform that you can put your comics and art on. So when I started Family Style, I did it as an Instagram comic. I was just doing it for the likes, you guys. I didn't think it was going to be a book. So I was just drawing and then putting it on Instagram. And I was just like, every day I would draw one page and I would put it on Instagram. And the next day I would draw another page and I would put it on Instagram. Just to get my story out there. And I think a lot of kids and young artists, when they're like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about drawing a comic, I'm thinking about a graphic novel, I have a really good idea, but they never really do it because they're like waiting for that perfect moment to draw the graphic novel. The moment is now, you guys. You guys, whatever you guys think of, you just start drawing it. Just start drawing it. Put it online, show your friends, and then eventually you're going to get enough fans that like everyone's going to be looking at your work. And that's kind of how Family Style came about. I just kept putting pages online, and the publisher saw it, and they were like, "Ooh, we like this," and then they're like, "Would you like us to publish it?" And I said, "Yes." So like, if that could happen to me, honestly, it could happen to you guys as well. So, yeah.
Excellent. What was your family's reaction to Two Family Style?
Well, my mom, my parents, because they're Vietnamese immigrants, when I became a comic book artist instead of a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, they were like, okay, I guess you could do this as long as you have a full-time job. So even though they supported my drawing comics, they were never like a big fan of my comics or anything like that. But after I drew this comic, and it's the comic about them, they love it. They were like, "This is the best comic you ever did." And I was like, "Is it because about you?" And they're like, "No, it's just the best comic you ever did." But I can tell you that, my brother, as a Vietnamese family, my brother became a doctor, right? And I became an artist. So my family always, I always thought my family loved my brother a little bit more, whenever we go over to my parents' house for dinner, my brother would have this one seat at the table next to my mom, right? That's his chair. And I always was mad that I never get to sit there because they're like, "Oh, we love you, you're a doctor," and all that stuff. And I was always like, and then after I wrote this book, it was featured on this in this television show for Vietnamese people. And then after that, my mom called me and they're like, "Hey, come home for dinner." And so I came home for dinner, and my brother goes to sit in that seat, and my mom's like, "No, that's for your brother." And I was like, "Yes." And like I was basically just like walking like this. So if you guys want to be the favorite child, just write a book, a glowing book about how awesome your parents are.
It sounds like that might be right up there, that momenting with winning the Eisner last year.
Yeah. That might be better than win the Eisner.
And I'm kind of surprised your parents didn't demand to accept the award for you, as the stars of the book, right?
I did give it to them. I gave my parents the Eisner, and I was like, "Mom, I'm going to give you this really special award." And she's like, "Okay." And then next time I saw it, it was just like lying on the floor.
It's a paperweight.
Yeah.
As you began to craft this story, how soon into the process did you kind of know that it would center around food to the point where the objects of food and all those would be the chapter kind of headings for it?
Yeah, I for a long time I was writing this story, and I didn't really quite know how to tell the story because there's been like a couple of cool books already about Vietnamese people coming to America. And so I was like, I don't know how I'm going to tell this story. And then one day I was talking to my mom, and my mom said, "Hey, Thien, what do you remember about coming to America?" And so I sat down and I was like, closed my eyes, and I tried to remember as much as I could. I was like, "I remember that time that you gave me the rice ball on the boat." And I was like, "I remember that time we had potato chips." And then I remember that time I ate the Salisbury steak. And then I realized that all my memories were all tied to food. And it's even like, I'm just like that. Like even now, if you guys ask me, you're like, "Hey, Mr. Pham, what did you do today?" I can be like, "Oh, I walked over to Del Taco and got a bacon and cheese burrito just a second ago." And all I do is remember through food. So that's when I thought of that. I was like, "Oh, that's how I'm going to tell this story, is through my memories of food."
Oh, that's excellent. So comics are, by its nature, often very collaborative, right? As I mentioned, you've worked with other people before. What's the difference like working by yourself and then having to bounce ideas or getting to bounce ideas off a collaborator?
Oh my God, you guys! I don't know if you know this. This might not be the same for everybody, but I also work with Gene Yang. I wrote a book. We did a book together called Level Up, and he was the writer and I was the artist. and we were best friends. Like, he's my best friend, and we're working together. It is the worst moment of my life. I never want to work with my best friend again. So working by myself was like obviously the easiest and funnest part of this. And it was just great because you have all the control. You can write what you want. You can decide on the fly. And I'm not a really good planner. So it really suits me way better to just kind of draw it myself than to draw it with someone else. So I enjoy the process. But that being said, I am collaborating with people again. And now that I'm older, I'm more mature and a little bit more professional, I am finding it a lot more fun. So even though the first time I collaborated with Gene Yang was terrible, I am going to collaborate with Gene Yang one more time. And hopefully this time it'll be a lot better.
Stay tuned. Follow them on social media. See if they break up as friends.
Exactly.
After the book comes out, though.
Yes,
After that. Family Styles, it's a very rich, kind of emotional book. Was there any moment in particular that was the hardest to write?
Have you guys all read the book, right? Yeah, awesome. There's one chapter in the book, you guys, that I did not want to write. And I actually told my editors, like, I don't want to write this chapter. And they were like, you have to write this chapter. It's one of the more important parts of the book. And the hardest chapter to write was the part where I'm in high school, and I'm hanging out with my friends. And it's because the entire book, I'm awesome. I'm like a cool kid. And my parents are awesome. So I was like really excited to write a book where everybody's just awesome. But in high school, I wasn't so awesome. And so I didn't want to write the part that I wasn't that awesome. So the scene where I'm sure you guys saw this, where I throw away my mom's food, that was the hardest scene to draw, the hardest scene to write. And it is still the hardest scene to even look at. So when I look at the book, and read the book again, I always skip that scene because it's so hard to read.
And is there kind of flipping it and trying to bring it back up a little bit? Was there one scene or chapter that like felt really good, felt really rich and kind of inspiring?
It also was part of the same a chapter. I really love drawing the bicycles. I really love drawing the freedom of being on a bicycle back in in the 90s, and just biking around, and it really brought back a lot of nostalgic memories of that time in my life. And when I drew that, it really felt really nice. And I also really love drawing my reunion with Thien. I don't want to spoil that, but that's like one of my favorite moments in the book, and I really enjoyed drawing that and writing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we do have some artists, it seems like, in the audience, and I know this is a question that young artists always have. What is your method for working? What tools do you work, and how do you?
So one of the coolest things, again, you guys are very lucky. When I was a kid and I started drawing comics, I had to draw on paper with a pencil and ink and stuff. And then you'd have to erase all the pencil lines and stuff like that. And that took so long. And it was just like so hard. But then they came out with this thing called the iPad. Do you guys know what this is? And and the iPencil. And this program called Procreate. How many of you guys know what Procreate is? And yeah. So I know a lot of you guys probably use Procreate and probably like, oh, this is a fun drawing program. But what you guys might not know is that program is probably responsible for most of the graphic novels that you guys read. So many of us professionals use Procreate. So that's pretty much a professional tool that you guys are using, if you guys are using it. So yeah, so I just draw on Procreate. I draw layers by layers. Recently, I went back to try to draw on paper with ink and stuff like that, and it was so hard. I kept, as I was drawing, I kept trying to, double tap to undo, or like I'll draw a line and just wait until it's straight, makes it straight. And I was just like, oh yeah, that doesn't happen in real life anymore. So I draw strictly on Procreate. One of the coolest thing about drawing with an iPad on Procreate is I draw everywhere. So some of a family style is drawn like on an airplane. Some of family style is drawn all over the place. But you know where it's mostly drawn? My studio. You know how sometimes you guys are like, oh, those artists, they must have a studio. Let me tell you where my studio is. Have you guys heard of a Walmart? All right. So in Oakland, we have a Walmart. And inside of this Walmart, this is going to blow your mind. Inside of the Walmart, there's this thing called a McDonald's. Inside the Walmart, you guys. And so I discovered that the best place for me to work was at this McDonald's inside the Walmart. So most of Family Style was drawn at this McDonald's inside the Walmart. And it's drawn with 2 breakfast burritos and a large Diet Coke. And that happens, most of Family Style was drawn there. So the cool thing with the iPad is I could take it to McDonald's inside the Walmart and draw my comics and be there for, 6 hours drawing, a couple of pages, and then come, 6 or 7 hours, so like.
You didn't do that on purpose.
No,
Oh. It's just in the air. That's a, do you know 617? Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I feel like you're missing a sponsorship opportunity with Walmart or McDonald's.
Oh my God.
Right?
If Walmart ever wants to sponsor me, I will. Just give me a little corner in your McDonald's.
Your next event, you're going to come decked out like a NASCAR racer, patches all over it.
Well, I wanna sponsor that table. If I ever was rich enough, I would like a little plaque at that table that just says "Family Style was drawn here."
That is amazing. I mean, and that is one of the things about art, right? This sounds like a cliche, but art can happen anywhere, right?
Yeah.
You can do art. Artists often, have to work on the fly, at a McDonald's, in a Walmart, on an airplane, right?
When I was a kid, and you know this too, and this book is still available, so you guys see it. But there was this book called "How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way," and so many of us had this book. You have that.
Oh
book
yeah,
for sure.
Of course, yeah.
And they would show you an illustration of what a comic book artist looked like, and they would sit at this desk, a giant desk, and it was like 90 degrees like this, and all these pens and all these brushes and all these inks and all the paper, and you'd look at it and be like, wow, that is a professional desk. And all my life I was like, that's how professionals draw. And then when I tried to draw like that, I was like, I can't draw like this. I can't draw like this because I have ADHD for sure, and I can't just sit there and concentrate, like at this blank desk
Lay out a perspective
for
grid
6 hours.
Yeah.
So like when I draw at McDonald's, I have my headphones on, and when I draw, I always have The Office. Do you guys know that TV show, The Office? Yeah, I always have The Office playing. So while I draw, The Office is always playing. And it just goes to show you that every artist works so differently. And you just have to find a way that works best for you.
Yeah. So, speaking of how to draw comics the Marvel way, which if you're into art, even if you're not into superhero books, you should pick up this book because it's got a lot of storytelling fundamentals in it. Really fantastic book. Who were some of your artistic heroes when you were a young teen?
Oh, when I was young? Well, my hero of all times, his name is Jim Lee. Do you guys know Jim Lee? Okay, so if you guys love comics, he's still drawing comics to this day.
Uh-huh.
And one of the reasons I love Jim Lee is one, because he's Asian. And when I was young and being an Asian kid, there was not very many people to look up to, like in the world of famous people, And to know that my favorite comic book artist, and I would say the best comic book artist at the time, was an Asian guy, really, really made me feel like I can do this. As an Asian kid, I can do this. And he was just so instrumental. I loved his comics. I love his book, and I love seeing his career as he rised up to become a really great artist. And recently, at the Eisner, I got to meet him. And it was like one of the best moments of my life. It was so amazing.
And intimidating,
Yeah,
right?
very intimidating.
Speaking of Jim Lee's got this kind of almost like origin story for.
Wait, is Jim Lee San Diego? Does he live in San Diego?
Jim has a home here in San Diego in La Jolla. He's also got one up in Burbank and one in Rome.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to, swim in riches, become the next Jim Lee. But he used to have a home in La Jolla here in San Diego. And I don't know if you know this story, Thien. Jim, being Korean American, his parents basically gave him a summer in order to start making a name for himself, right? And he did. He had a couple small jobs, and he was allowed to not go to medical school and instead become an artist. Did you have any kind of like mandate or kind of hard deadline like that from your parents, or?
No, but I definitely, when I got my first comic in 4th grade, I loved it so much that I said, in 4th grade, you guys are in like 6th, 7th, and 8th, right? So you guys are, but when I was in 4th grade, just imagine in 4th grade, I decided that I was going to be a comic book artist. I was like, this is it. This is all I want to do. And during every year, my 6th grade year, my 7th grade year, my 8th grade year, I was like, I'm going to draw comics. And when I graduated high school, I said, Mom, I'm graduating high school. Will you let me go to art school so I can be a comic book artist? And she was like, no. So then I had to go to a regular college to be like a bad engineer or something, because they knew I wasn't smart enough to be a doctor. They knew, but they thought maybe I could be a bad engineer or I don't know. But I failed. I failed out of all of it, you guys. And I came home to my mom and was like, Mom, I failed out of college. Can you let me go to art school? And then they were like, okay. So when I went to art school, then they were like, at least he's learning something. So, so that's how I did it.
That's amazing. Can you, you mentioned your upcoming book with Gene. Is there anything that you can share with the audience about the project?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, and for teachers out there, I think it might be more important. But Gene Yang, who I think is one of the best graphic novelists and best comic book artist working right now. He's not only the artist and writer of American Born Chinese, but he does the Avatar series. He draws, he writes. His TV show American Born Chinese was on Disney Plus. He is like basically my brother, like my best friend, my brother, my mentor. But he and I started out as teachers. He is a high school. He was a high school computer science teacher at the same school that I teach art at. And we have another friend who also teach art at Bishop O'Dowd High School, where I teach. And she's also a graphic novelist. And her book, Raised by Ghosts, just came out recently. It's also a young adult graphic novel. It just won the Harvey. But we decided to collaborate, and we were going to do a story about teaching. Because we're all teachers, and we all share funny stories. I'm sure all the teachers here are like, oh yeah, we got some, like we've all had discussions where it would be like, if we made a TV show, this story would go in it. Or if we made a book, this story would go in it. And so we're going to do a story about being teachers and how teachers and students affect each other's lives.
No, that's excellent. Yeah. If you want just a small snippet of Gene and Thien in that environment. I loved seeing you guys in Dragon Hoops.
Oh, yeah.
Which is one of Gene Yang's books.
Well, actually, you know, in Family Style, Gene Yang and Brianna Lowenson, who I was just talking about, also make an appearance. If you guys see that chapter where I'm teaching high school, and there's a group of people eating lunch together, that's Gene and Brianna. And so we appear in each other's comics. And so our publisher calls it the first second extended universe, because we're constantly in each other's comics. Yeah.
Careful, they're gonna own the trademark on you guys.
Yeah, totally.
In just a couple of minutes, we're gonna open it up to questions. I know you guys have some questions for Thien. We've got some questions online as well. I guess my final question for you, Thien, is what is there like a food? Say you were doing like a memoir now about adult Thien Pham. What would be the next kind of food addition to that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I want to say something fancy because I love eating fancy food and I love eating foods of all kind. But I have to say, you guys, have you guys ever had the McDonald's breakfast burrito? It's one of my favorite things in the world. I have it maybe 4 times a week. I got the entire McDonald's app just for that breakfast burrito. And I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Now, that's not to say that I don't eat a lot of, I came here in San Diego. I was here only for a couple days, and I managed to eat so many amazing foods. I've had tacos and pho and bumba we and all this amazing food that San Diego has to offer. But I also had a couple of McDonald's sausage and eggs burrito. So that definitely will be on the list for my next memoir for sure.
Excellent.
And McDonald's, give me a shout out. Get into my DMs.
Thien's waiting for a sponsorship.
Yeah. Get into that DM.
Free
McDonald's.
breakfast burritos for life. That would work. And I think we're going to do something a little different. Thien, can we have you draw something?
Okay, let's do it. Let's
awesome. Can we draw the breakfast burrito?
What?
Can we draw the breakfast burrito?
We can ask the kids what the food I like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. The first. Let's see. Mr. Rabin, how should we organize everyone?
We can just have them shout it out. Like, what would you want? What's your favorite food? What would you like me to draw right here? All right. I got a banh mi right here. All right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. So, I just so you guys know, this is the very first time I've ever done a live drawing at any book visit. I don't normally do this. So, this may be really great. Like you guys might be witnessing some genius right now, or this may be terrible. All right, we don't know yet. But either way, it might be interesting, okay? So I got the prompt for a banh mi, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a banh mi. If you guys don't know what a banh mi is, it's a Vietnamese sandwich. Usually includes, it's on a baguette. It includes some type of meat, some pickled vegetables like carrots and daikon. It's got some peppers. My favorite part of the banh mi is the pate that they put on it. It's the most delicious. And like they have a really, really creamy mayonnaise that goes on it. All right, so I'm going to draw that. And then you guys.
Well, we're going to make you multitask, so I'll ask questions while you're drawing, Thien. So our first question online comes from Dana Dale, teacher and students from Hoover High School, ask, are you still friends with Ton?
No, the only person in the book that I haven't kept in touch with is Tuan, and I am currently looking for him. When I was in 5th grade, Tuan and his family moved to Los Angeles, and my family and I lost touch of Tuan. But we are currently, I definitely want to find Tuan because I really want to show him my graphic novel that I drew with him. Yeah.
All right, and I think if any students have questions, do we want them to come up to the microphone? I'm gonna let I think they're sorting it out down there. Our next question online comes from Carmina Ramirez and the students from Calexico High School. They ask, do you think there is a similarity across cultures on the first day for an immigrant coming to the United States?
You know, I after writing this book, one of the coolest things about writing this book is so many different people, not only Vietnamese people, but immigrants, Hispanic and Indian and a bunch of different immigrants, all seem to have the same type of story. And they come up to me and they share their stories with me. And it is one of the best parts of this, of writing this book. And we all seem to have a very similar story, especially when it comes to our first day of going to school, our first day in America. And I think that's kind of like one of the things that bond us first generation immigrants. I remember having, when I was in school, a lot of my friends were first generation immigrants, and I'm starting to realize that that's kind of the bond we have, is that the trying to assimilate into this culture that is new to us.
That's great. Our next question comes from Brown, who is a student at Wilson Middle School. They ask, what is your favorite food, minus ceviche? That's them, not me.
Whoa, did they say ceviche? Yeah, they said ceviche. Okay, ceviche is one of my favorite foods. That's crazy. How did they know that? That's crazy. Well, obviously, pho is the thing that I can eat every day. I can always eat pho every day. And you guys all know my love for sausage and egg burritos already. That's also one of my favorites. But I love everything. I love tacos. I love sushi. I don't know what a 6-7 burger is, but one day I'm going to eat that, and I bet you that's going to be delicious as well. I just love food in general. So like, there is not any type of food that I don't love. I love pizza. I love burritos. I love I just love all types of food. Indian food. I love Laotian food. Everything. Yeah.
I'm going to throw a question in. I'm kind of the same way. I love all food. Is there any food that you don't like, Thien, or that you just can't eat for whatever reason?
I don't like beets. Do you guys like beets? That's like I'll eat anything but a beet. It's like a vegetable, but then like also sweet, but then not goodly sweet, which is weird. Like usually something sweet is good, but beets are gross.
While you guys are doing that, I'm going to call a couple of students up to ask some questions. So the following 4 students, please come on up and line up. There's Layla Cassidy from Marston. There's Mario Gibson, Nicholas, grade 6, Maya.
While we're getting organized. Oh, that's amazing. You guys, look at the banh mi.
Well, now that I'm answering questions, Alonzo here is going to draw you his favorite food. Alonzo, here we go. What should Alonzo draw you guys? Sushi. All right, you pick from what they're... Oh, Alonzo going to draw sushi, you guys.
Do I say my name too? My name's Layla. What inspired you to do comic books?
So, I was telling you guys in 4th grade, I had been in America and I had learned how to speak English really well, but I still didn't know how to read. You know, which is really sad, because I bet you guys in 4th grade, you guys were reading Up a Storm, right? You guys were reading Wings of Fire, Dog Man, all these great books. But in 4th grade, even when I was in 4th grade, I still had not read a book, because not only was English my second language, but I have this thing called dyslexia. And back in the olden days, they didn't know what dyslexia was. So they just said that you were not smart, and then they just didn't let you read. So when I got my very first comic, I spent $1 of my leasing money on this comic, and I looked at it just to look at the pictures because I love Spider-Man. And I was looking at the comic, and as I'm looking at the comic, I realized that I was actually reading the story. And it was because of the words and the pictures. When they put them together, I was able to understand it a little bit more than a book that just had words. And it really just blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, I just read a story. And so ever since that moment, I was like, I love comics. And ever since that day, I said, I'm going to draw comics. One day I'm going to grow up, I'm going to draw, and I'll hopefully make a kid feel like I feel when I read this book. So yeah, since I was in 4th grade, I wanted to draw comics. I did my very first comic that year. It was called Space Dogs. It was about a group of, guess, dogs in space. And I made my mom copy it, and I took it to school, and I tried to sell it for 25 cents. So that was the start of my comic career in 4th grade.
Mario from Marston has a really profound question for you. Here we go.
I have 2 questions. What is better, McDonald's or In-N-Out?
McDonald's, you guys. I love In-N-Out, but the lines are too long. And I love the McDonald's cheeseburger so much.
And my second question is, how do you say 6-7 in Vietnamese?
Oh, this is a very profound question. All right, you guys ready? I've been saying this a lot. 6-7. 6-7. I think I've seen TikToks where people in Vietnam have said 6-7. 6-7. Let's take 6-7 international.
How did you stay so energized while writing?
What?
How did you stay so energized while writing?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. How did you stay so energized while writing?
How do I stay energized about writing?
Yeah.
Okay. I stay energized about writing by writing with pictures. So whenever I write, I also draw along with my writing. So that way I can imagine what I see in my head. So I'm not like, again, because I'm not a traditional writer. So whenever I draw, I try to picture it in my head first, and I draw it first, and then I write it out. So that way it makes the writing a lot more fun. It makes me, oh, what is that? Okay, we have time for maybe 2 more questions.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We got 5 minutes.
What happened to Linda?
Oh, do you guys want to know what happened to Linda Lee?
Yeah.
All right. So before I wrote this book, you guys, I knew that I was going to tell the world that I had a crush on Linda Lee. And it was like my biggest secret that I ever had in my entire life, right? So I called my friends, I called Linda, and I said, Linda, can we have dinner? And she's like, sure. And so I sit down with Linda, and I've never told Linda that I liked her yet. I've never told her that. So me and Linda are still friends to this day. We're really close friends. And so I sit her down, we're having dinner, and I said, Linda, I'm about to write this book. And in this book, I'm going to tell this secret that I've never told anyone. And then she's like, And I'm like, I'm going to tell the world that I had a crush on you, Linda Lee. And I never told her this. It's like, it's been over 30 years. I've never told her this. And then she says, of course I knew that. And so I thought it was this big secret, but she knew the whole time. She's like, yeah, you don't drive 4 miles to go pick up a burrito for someone that you're just friends with. So it wasn't that big a surprise to her. But me and Linda are still really, really close friends. And she lives by me, and so we still get together and have dinner and stuff like that all the time. So me and Linda are still really close friends.
Excellent. Just before we get to you, I just want to show this. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, look at those sushi! Wow, that's amazing.
I love sushi. I'm a huge sushi fan. Everything from the best omakase. I had a Wagyu sushi the other day. It was fantastic. Down to like the 25-pack from Costco.
I love Costco sushi.
I love the Costco salmon sushi. I can't help myself. And I love all the extras that you get with it. The miso soup, the ginger, the wasabi, all that. So
awesome.
Shout out to whoever recommended sushi. That was a good one. Vinco, Tim, this is pretty crazy. Vinco is watching live right now from northern Chile.
Oh, wow.
And they, more of a comment, they would love to see Family Style as a PBS Kids program.
Oh, I would love that.
Has there been any talk? Is there?
I really, the one thing I think I really want to do with Family Style, and it is a kids programming, is I would love to have a Peanuts style kids show with kids in a refugee camp.
Oh, that would be
I think that
amazing,
would be really fun. So there hasn't been very much talk, but if anyone does want to talk and slide into my DM, I would pitch them that.
And we've got McDonald's money to play around with too. So, go ahead.
What's your favorite part of Family Style?
My favorite part of Family Style is high school. The high school chapter, the one that I did not want to write, turned out to be my favorite chapter, and a lot of it has to do with the Linda Lee story. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when you hold a secret in for a long time like that, and then you tell the person that you have had a crush them for 35 years, and then you put it into a book. It feels pretty good. It feels great to finally get that off my shoulders.
All right, next question.
Hi, my name is Risky, and how did you feel about coming to the U.S.?
Well, I mean, when I was really scared, and I never understood why we were doing it. Like, my mom never told us why we were leaving our country to go to another country. And when I got to the United States, it was so hard, and it was so new, and I was so scared that I almost felt like I hated it. I was like, oh, I don't care about this place. You know, like how sometimes you go somewhere, but you're afraid to be there. You're just kind of like, I don't like this place. But obviously, if I wasn't here, my life would be significantly different, and I love my life. So I'm very, very happy that I'm here, and I'm very happy that the other Vietnamese immigrants and other immigrants from all over have come here for a better life and have contributed to making America a better place.
Fantastic. This will be our last question.
That's a long bell.
My name's Cordelia, and I was wondering, how did you stay motivated while writing your book?
Whenever people ask me what I do when I have a writing block, like if I have a motivated a block, my favorite thing to do is I like to walk around. I feel like I'm doing corporate sponsorship, but I'm not. But one of my favorite things to do is to walk around Target. So what I do when I have a mental block is I go to Target, I get 2 12-packs of Diet Coke, and I put it in one hand, and I just walk around Target over and over again, thinking about my story. It's like my only exercise that I get. So the Diet Cokes are supposed to exercise my arms, and the walking around is supposed to, that's my cardiovascular. And the whole time I'm thinking about my story, and that usually snaps me out of my writer's block. I usually am able to come up with what to write next based on doing that one exercise.
I was handed one last minute question. So this is from Calexico High School's student. They ask, do you think there is a similarity across cultures? Oh wait, no, we got this one. We did this one. All right, so I think that will be it. One more question. All right. Hot off the presses.
Hi, my name's Tenley.
Does your parents still own the croissant shop in Saratoga?
No. So in the book, I didn't write this part, but they actually, like running a bakery is a very hard job. So they had the opportunity to get a video store. That's why when I was in high school, I worked at my family's video store because they bought a bunch of video stores at that time. However, I did find out recently that the people that took over their croissant shop still run a croissant shop, not in that location. Obviously, it's been 40 years, so my parents still live in that area. So whenever I come to visit them, I always pass our old businesses, and the people that bought the croissant shop still run a croissant shop like that. So it's really great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thien, thank you so much for talking to us today. What do you guys think? Can we give Thien one more round of applause? All right, thank you guys, thank you. And guys, really great job with the questions. Everyone online, thank you.
You guys are also great. I just want to say this has been one of the best experiences of my life, and I hope one day you guys all have this feeling. KPBS is amazing, and this program, this One Book, One San Diego program, is one of the coolest things I've ever run across, and you guys are so lucky to have this program, and I just love it so much, and thank you so much, you guys, for being the best audience, and have a great day.
Right.
Thank you again.
Before everyone, guys, sit for 1 second, please. Guys, sit. Thank you. I'm going to turn it back over to Janelle from KPBS.
Thank you. Please stay seated. All right, so I'm going to ask for one more round of applause for Thien and Alonso.
Sao bai.
The 6-7 infused its way into our program, and now you know how to say it in Vietnamese. That's awesome. All right, so thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, for answering all the questions. Thank you, audience, online and in person, for all the wonderful questions. Just to wrap up here, I have some thank yous. So I want to definitely thank Superintendent Fabiola Bagula and our office staff, the San Diego Unified School District Communications Department, and of course, the Office of Youth Advocacy, Mick Rabin and Alicia Elzian. Let's hear it for the team. They made it possible for you all to be here and participate and online. And then we want to thank all of the schools participating. So when you hear your school, give them a big shout out. Stanley Middle School, Hoover High School, Chula Vista High School, Mar Vista Academy, I'm Millennial, Wilson Middle School, Calexico High School, Calexico Unified School District, Marston Middle School, Taft Middle School, Mann Middle School, and Mount Everest Academy. And thank you to our sponsors, partners, and all of the KPBS team here that makes it possible for us to present these events. Before I forget, I do want to say for all of you, please save the date. December 11th is when we're hosting our kids author here in San Diego, Olivia Abtahi, author of The Interpreter in English and Spanish. So save the date for that. We're super excited. We'll be at Taft Middle School with a hybrid event. And I think that concludes our program. So online folks, thank you so much. We appreciate your participation and look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Thank you everyone here. Please stay seated. Please stay seated. Okay, so please stay seated.